Interstellar has the potential to sweep the audience along as an imaginative yarn, to spin an emotional web that will leave some rapturous. Others may take umbrage with the film's problematic logical throughline and narrative disconnect. I find myself drifting between those perspectives. The film has been shrouded in secrecy, so all we'll say about the plot is that Matthew McConaughey plays Cooper, a man facing an extinction-level crisis who must journey to the far reaches of space in an attempt to save both his own family and humanity at large. At its core, Interstellar is a quintessentially Christopher Nolan film. It's gorgeous. There can be no doubt that Nolan is in many ways a technical genius with an admirable emphasis on practical effects. There is a tangible, visceral sense to the created universe that is thrilling. There are also some heady notions of time that the film is playing with, which are mostly based on scientific theory. It'll be fairly easy to pull the thread that unravels the science, but if you give over to suspension of disbelief, then Interstellar has moments that will leave you breathless. However, some viewers may be forced to disembark during what is in many ways a clunky final act. Interstellar's story is peppered with logical breaks, but they're for the most part pardonable. While it may be grounded in rich and visual detail, it's still a science fiction film after all, and much of the story is going to venture into the realm of pure imagination, the magical what if. However, the climax is where the film seems to make a conscious decision to entirely divorce itself of its own logic. It's not so much that Interstellar stretches our understanding of space and time, it's that it introduces its own set of parameters only to then break or at the very least muddle them, leaving the audience wondering how 1 + 2 ended up equaling C. In addition, the human behavior, meaning the characters' decisions, conclusions, and reactions to events, often defy logic. Having said that, another question arises when thinking about this film. Is analysis more critical because this is Nolan, or is far more excused for the same reason? Script issues aside, the scope and scale of the undertaking, both artistically and in terms of the story, cannot be denied. The film is perfectly cast, the performances are strong, the characters' fear and sense of awe are palpable. One thing that may surprise audiences is that Interstellar is also often quite funny. One of Nolan's greatest gifts as a filmmaker is that he's able to reach a mass audience while playing with big ideas. Openly borrowing from 2001, Close Encounters, and other films of that era, Interstellar has a hook that's easy for both Hollywood and moviegoers alike to get behind. It's a story about one family in the midst of an intergalactic drama. As the filmmaker intended, this is an experience that one can only truly have in the theater itself, and it is one worth having. Interstellar is an entertaining, if occasionally wonky, mostly emotionally effective science fiction tale that is as visually spectacular as an audience would hope for, expect, and demand of the director. Though as mentioned, Interstellar also has all of the makings to become a highly divisive film. For everything Christopher Nolan, keep it here on IGN.